Pandas. Good morning, pandas. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad that you can join us today. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're finding yourself here. So for that, I'm truly grateful. Hey, let's start in the chat. Give us a good morning, good evening, depending where you're from. Also, make sure you fill out that poll to tell me what kind of day you think today might be. Good morning, good morning, good morning, pandas. Good morning, Mazhar Ali from Toronto. I see that you got the two legs in your two-legged pullback. I believe it actually takes 6 months to get the second entry on that badge. So do appreciate it. Brandon Jones, good morning from Florida. SW Blaze, good morning from Chicago. Sergey from sunny Belgium. I guess it's a change of weather there. Welcome back to the stream. Mario Luigi, good morning from the Netherlands. Good morning, Bill Jesso from Canada. Good morning, pandas. As pandas keep rolling in, let's take a look at the charts right now. Overnight, basically nothing has happened. Absolutely nothing. It's just been in this trading range marked by the trading range indicator, as you can see. It's been in this trading range all night. I think basically after close, it's just been basically in this trading range. And what they say about trading ranges is most likely there will be a breakout, but most likely that breakout will fail. So we have breakouts here, breakouts up here. These are all breakouts that fail. Breakout here, breakout here. These all fail breakouts from the trading range. So that's already true. We do have an L4 set up here, but the L4 is currently failing, actually already failed, and it might trigger the L5. But I didn't even want to take the L4 because we're so close to the top of the trading range. I was thinking it's going to hit the top of the trading range, and maybe after the L5 triggers, maybe interested, but we'll see. Typically in trading ranges, you want to trade the lower high setups. For instance, here's a 2. That means this is a lower high, right? Because the leg count is continuing. So you have the first pullback down, and then 2 means second pullback down. And this dark green one is the second entry. And so what you have here is a higher low setup, and so right there is where you want to enter. This is a little risky, but the lower high setup is a better setup here. You have the H4 at the bottom of the trading range. Notice the trading range begins right here, right? The trading range indicator detected the trading range on this bar. Actually, on this bar, it detected the trading range, and then it started to adapt. If you look at the 10K chart, the trading range I think is a little more clear, a little more cleaner. 10K charts showing clear trading range right here. And typically trading ranges are continuation patterns. So you have a downtrend, trading range, expected downtrend. But the longer the trading range, the more 50-50 it becomes, according to Al Brooks. And basically he says once 20 bars are formed in the trading range, then it's basically 50-50. So it could go down, it could go up. Yeah, I'm expecting plenty of failed breakdowns today, so I might be trading this trading range throughout the morning, but we'll see. Hey, good morning, pandas. Hey, make sure you hit that like button to let the YouTube algorithm know that this content's out there and it exists, and it's absolutely for free. Hitting that like button not only helps the stream, but also helps other people find this stream. So you hitting that like button, doing that simple act of hitting that like button, actually helps the stream and also helps others. Because it lets the YouTube algorithm know that this content is bussin' and people are enjoying the content, letting other people know who are looking for content like this, or may not even know that they are looking for content like this, and when they actually see it in the recommended list or suggestions, then it's something that they'd be interested in. So make sure you hit that like button to help the entire community here and potential future community. Good morning, Jason from Texas. Hey guys, hey man, Jason is the Panda of Pandas. This guy has to wake up from Texas early in the morning just to join the stream on time. He has to wake up basically around, I believe, 6:30, and for that I'm grateful. Brian Davila is back. Hey, let's go, baby. So kudos to those who are joining really early. Good morning, JT Carpenter. Good morning, Gus Bra. Good morning, Kyle from Qatar. 4:20 p.m. Good morning, Phil W from Toronto. Let's go, baby. SW Blaze says, could be a slow morning with FOMC this afternoon. Scott Hubbard says, hello from Lancaster. Good morning, Scott. Kellyanne, good morning, pandas. Good morning to all my pandas. Welcome to the stream. Hey, guys. Gonna go over a little bit over what's happened here for those who are first-time viewers. I'm Buy My Money. Welcome to my stream. I'm glad that you could be here. I really do appreciate if this is your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 100th time joining the stream. Really do appreciate you being here, supporting the stream, hitting that like button. Hey, in this stream we trade pure price action. That means we look at the movement of the price. We look at candles and we do candle analysis, and we look through every single movement that the price makes. With those movements, we like to have a slight edge to be able to scalp the E-mini. I currently am scalping the ES, the E-mini, exclusively. I only trade one single instrument, and I look for only one single setup, two-legged pullback. It's a setup that looks like this: 2 pushes down or 2 pushes up. And the reason why we like to find this is because after the market makes 2 moves at something, it typically reverses. So we like to enter in a second entry like this. We like to enter right here. If you'd like more information about the setup, you can check out the description below. But we have to find the setup in key areas such as moving averages, trend lines, channels, things like that. For instance, if I move this two-legged pullback here, we have a two-legged pullback, bottom of the trading range, two-legged pullback. It makes enough not only for a scalp but entire swing. And so the reason why it's so successful, 90% or greater probability, is because in the right context, in the market psychology, the market loves to move in twos. And once it makes a two-legged move, once it makes those 2 moves and it hits the target area, then typically it reverses. Also, we trade pure price action. So on the chart, I trade mainly the 2000 tick chart. And so I will switch between the 2000 tick, sometimes the 10K, 5 minute, I even use a daily to get some overall analysis for the entire day. But basically, we trade with no indicators other than indicators that help with price action. Very few indicators. We have the 20 EMA solid line, 240 SMA dash line, and also a custom indicator that counts all legs. And so for those two-legged pullbacks, there's an indicator that automatically finds those two-legged pullbacks with these numbers. So we can see this 1 here means 1 pullback, this 2 means second pullback, and this dark red number means that this is a second entry. And so also these dark green numbers means that these are also second entries as well. So with a simple color scheme, we can see when there's a second entry, we see that the next reversal here will be a second entry with this dark red diamond on the right side of the chart. Also, we have the trading range indicator that's detecting the trading range using pure price action. And so we see these horizontal lines are created automatically by the trading range indicator. As you can see, it is finding this trading range very nicely right now. If you'd like more information about the indicators, you can check out the official website at the bottom right of your screen at www.twoleggedpullback.com. Also, the link is in the description. That's it for the introduction, pandas. Hey, let's get some good scalps. Let's get those 90% scalps. Theo Anderson from South Korea, welcome to the stream. Good evening, good night. KY Botech Fit, good morning from Singapore. Also very late. Yes, Panda Worldwide, that's it's the Panda Nation. We have no limits. Marley just saying some kind words here. I'm so glad I found this stream. I want to say I appreciate your hard work. It is fantastic that you're willing to share this with us. Great content yesterday. I bited my nails off while watching. So did I. My claws are basically just little nubs now. That was crazy. If you guys remember yesterday, I had a double position on a suspect trade, but ended up working out. Hey, market's about to open in 3 minutes. We have most of you guys thinking it's going to be a trading range day today. I think so too. Let's look at the daily. Most likely will be a trading range day today. I'm thinking if it breaks below yesterday's low, we have a two-legged pullback on the daily. And I might look for a nice position there if we do get that triggered sometime during the day. But I am worried about the FOMC. I mean, everything's about the price action, but FOMC can make the day slow until the announcement. So I'm really just worried about the slow day and also this trading range. The trading range means that if it comes actually down here and triggers, so this red line is yesterday's low. If it triggers this bottom here, it could come back up for failed breakout, failed breakdown. Like right now, like we should be looking to fade this breakout because of the trading range we have been in for so long. But we only do that with lower high setups, preferably second entry lower high setups. Yep, Phil W. Hey, you guys are reminding us FOMC at 2 p.m. today. Hey, can someone give us the source for that? Though I do love this community, I'd like to double check. Can one of you guys post a source for the FOMC? Market is about to open in 2 minutes. I do think we're going to be in trading range probably until FOMC. And so we're going to try to use that to our advantage. We're going to try to trade this as a trading range as long as we can. Until we start seeing some strong buying or selling pressure, then we'll start to be hesitant. I'm looking for those lower high, higher low setups in this trading range. The 10K is I think pretty clear trading range. Shows much more clearly than the 2K, because 2K the trading range broke up here, broke here, broke here, broke here, and now it's been in this one for a while. 10K trading range goes up to, let's see here, 42, 40, 75, 42, 40, 75. I'm gonna mark the trading range here on the 10K chart on this 2K chart. So these purple lines are the trading range. Maybe I'll color these. Nah, I'll keep them purple. All right, we're hitting the top of the trading range now. Market's opened. Hitting the top of the trading range on the 10K chart. Oh, okay, you know, I might have turned off links because people were shilling so much. Sorry about that. I can't turn off the links right now. I do not know how to do that. I'm going to have to do that off stream. But thanks for posting if you put the links out there. Sorry that your links are probably not showing if you are, because way too many people are shilling here. Maybe if you write out the link, put a space so it's not a full hyperlink when you type it in. All right, we're looking for a lower high setup. Looking for that lower high setup. I'm gonna check it at the 5 minute. That's what the 5 minute looks like. 5 minute actually making a L4 setup in its own trading range. Oh, the 5 minute created a big trading range here. L4 setup on the 5 minute. I'm looking at Forex Factory right now. Let's see if we can see the FOMC. FOMC at 2 p.m. All right. Thank you for that, community. Let's do that. Thanks guys, thanks guys. Thank you for that. Look at this chop, it's still in the chop here, still respecting the chop. Five minute creating that L4 setup. Right at the open. Goodness. I am scared of this daily though, triggering the two-legged pullback. I'm not really scared, but I'm thinking about that. That could possibly happen today. So we don't have a good lower high setup. I would like the lower high setup, but this has gone so far down. I'm not sure if that lower high setup will be a good spot at this point. Typically, you like it near the top third of the trading range, but right now I don't know where the lower high setup will appear. So this is technically a lower high setup, as you can see with the 2 here, that if this reverses, that this 2 is showing the lower high setup. The reason why I know it's a lower high setup is because if it's a 2, that means that the pivot high, the current pivot high, hasn't broken above the previous pivot high because the count is continuing. That's the indicator of what's useful for. you can see that this will be a lower high setup because it's a number 2. Right? These are higher low setups because you see 2, 3. Right? That means this pivot is higher than this pivot. This pivot is higher than this pivot. You have a 4 here. This pivot's higher than this pivot. 5. This pivot's higher than this pivot. So the count continues, keeps continuing up. Yeah, the L4 on the 5 minute, I missed that. I wasn't even looking at the I wasn't looking at the 5 minute. But that's a pretty nice L4 setup on the 5 minute. Hitting the top of the trading range, right? Missed it by 1 tick and reversed sharply. It's all good. I mean, we want the lower high setups, higher low setups here. But I'm not sure if we're gonna get it in a good spot. We'll see. Hitting the top of the trading range on a 2K chart. Coming back up here. I perfectly like the lower high setup to be a second entry. This is not a second entry lower high setup. The reason why it's not a second entry is because this pivot low actually it broke the previous pivot low by 1 tick. And because of that, we lost our second entry here. If it stayed above this previous pivot low, then this would actually be a second entry lower high setup. Trading range day today. 10K, look at this overnight session. I do have a measure move set up right now for the 10K chart. You can see this movement, the lowest point of the pivot and the highest point, the lowest point before the highest point of the consolidation, and we have the measure move down to here. Potential measure move today. The lower high setup does trigger here, but I like that second entry lower high setup if possible. The perfect scalp hits at the 50s. What are we looking for here, pandas, now? One second, pandas. Possible Pikachu here. Possible Pikachu. If this triggers right above, this hits it just one more tick above, we have a Pikachu set up here. Top of the trading range. Pikachu doesn't trigger. Instead we get a micro double top. Reading the price action tick by tick, bar by bar. Here we go. Triggers down. I wish we got that Pikachu instead. It might have been interesting, that Pikachu. Oh yeah, the 10K does have a 2-legged pullback here. But I don't know if I'm interested. It's so choppy. I'm just not interested in this 2-legged pullback. But it is a 2-legged pullback. A, B, C. 2-legged pullback. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe it might be worth it, but I just don't like these overlapping bars. It's just, I mean, it's trading range, you know? Typical trading range behavior. Good morning, guys. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Oh, dang, you did say H4 on the 5 minutes. Sorry, I missed that. Just focused. Uriel, good morning. Good morning, D-Lu. Just welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Vamshi. Second entry short on the 10K chart. That's true, but we're in trading range, so be careful. Rohan asks, is there a wedge on the daily? This is the daily. I think for me, it's just a two-legged pullback on the daily. Spike in channel on the daily, and we're the top of the channel. That's what I'm reading this as. Yeah, I mean, there is a two-legged pullback on the 10K chart, as you can see here, with like a decent signal bar. But, I mean, if you're in a trading range, it's just like, anything can really happen. So, you know, what you're thinking is you're going to come back to the bottom of the trading range. So that could possibly still happen. But, you know, you're kind of thinking like, after this triggers, disappointing bar. It's like, I don't know. The lower high does make a point here, but barely. Just enough to make a point. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't make a trade this morning, if this is all we're getting. Just watching, sitting on my hands. I kind of knew it was gonna be this kind of day. Like once I like woke up and I saw the price action overnight looking like this, just like, I'm not surprised if today is just gonna be like this, sideways trading. But I want to use it to our advantage, right? I want to be able to trade this as well. The L4 setup on the 5 minutes, still good. Still, actually, you will be in a... Actually, the runner got stopped out right there. Never mind. I thought you'd be in a runner still. The 5 minutes interesting because now we're bouncing above the 20 EMA, but it is sideways. For those who enter short here, you might be able to get your scalp now. No promises. See, like right now, the reason why it's hard to trade here is because you're in the middle of the trading range. Here it could be 50-50 actually. If you're in the top of the trading range, then the idea is, right, to really increase your odds is to actually have a scale in mind. Let's say you have a, because you're thinking it's gonna be a failed breakdown. So if you come here and then you go into a second entry or lower high, then you're planning to actually scale in maybe once or twice. And then if it breaks above that, then, you know, so be it, you lose it, but that really increases your probabilities here. We're coming back to the bottom of trading range. Top fail breakout, possibly come back down to the bottom. We're so close to it, I'm thinking we're gonna hit it, but who knows? If you look at the pinned comment, you can answer some of those questions people are asking about the Fed. Skrbeshki asked a good question here. From your experience, have you found that there are more days that you don't trade at all or very little with a few really heavy trading days sprinkled in between? Yeah, I mean, like, you're thinking maybe 5 good setups throughout the day, and that might be like average, so it's typical. I mean, even in this, you could have done that lower high here in this trading range. Decent setup. You got the scalp. But I like the second entry. The only reason why I entered is because this pivot low broke below this pivot low by 1 tick. If this was a green 2, I would have, or a red 2, then I would have entered in. But it's only the first entry of the lower high, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, some days of course there's more setups than others, but right, it looks like we're heading down to the bottom. For those who went short here, looks like you might get your scalp. You're 1 tick away from a perfect scalp. For those who went short on this 2-legged pullback on the 10K chart. That's nerve-wracking, right? When you see a candle like this right after you trigger. Still haven't gotten it yet though. Still waiting. Anyways, do you ever trade the NQ? No, I only trade the E-mini. I've actually never traded the NQ. I tried Forex, I tried the Euro USD, I tried to scalp it, but in my opinion, Forex, you cannot scalp Forex. Not with this, in this way. Because the spreads are way too bad. The spreads are so huge. You cannot scalp. You have to swing trade on Forex. Alright, come back to the bottom trading range on the 2K chart. Those who scalped the 10K chart, congrats. You just scalped. Absolute scalp. The reason why I don't want to enter this is because even though this is like a pretty good signal bar, it's right in the middle of the trading range. You see that? And when it hits the middle of the trading range, it goes up and down like this. And you know, fortunately you do get a scalp here, but because even though it's a good signal bar and it's hit the top of the trading range, it just triggers, right? This second entry triggers so like just right in the middle. Actually, it triggers below the middle of the trading range on the 10K chart. If this like was up here, right, if we got this and we got it up here and we triggered like around here, this area, then yeah, I'll be probably more interested. But this triggers like in the middle of the trading range. Very difficult. Very difficult. In my opinion, that's what I think. Ryan Schmidt asks, are you looking at trades balancing between the trading range, top and bottom? I am. I would have entered here, but like I said, because this went 1 tick below this pivot low, the count reset, and so we got a 1 here. Otherwise, this will be a 2 or a 6 actually. And that would have made this a second entry lower high setup, which I would have been very interested in. But unfortunately, it was just a first entry lower high setup there. Hope that makes sense to you guys. If that doesn't make sense, then you should check out the description below. There are tutorials on how to count legs. Because this pivot low broke below this pivot low, the count reset actually. Because of that, we lost our second entry. What else can be traded as ES but in non-working hours? Good question. If anyone else can answer that, that would be great. I mean, I focus solely on the ES, so I haven't ventured out to many other instruments. There might be other instruments out there that are good off hours, but in my mind, I mean, yeah, the ES is just, it's really the king of all instruments. Oh, I believe this is some people's favorite song. Slow morning, slow morning. Killian says, I thought they all can. you can, basically any instrument that doesn't have bad spreads, you can use the two-legged pullback. But the thing is that the volume that you get, it might just be very slow. I guess he was asking like, what is like the E-mini off hours? What instruments out there like the E-mini? And I just don't think there is one that's traded like with this much volume. But there might be other instruments. I mean, the strategy-wise, you can trade even with the E-mini off hours. You can do that, but because it's based purely on price action, so that doesn't change anything. But the thing is, I don't know anything, you know, off hours from the New York session, obviously, that trades as well as the E-mini during this hours, like with this much volume. That's what I mean. I mean, the strategy still works, but. Bonds have higher volume than the ES. Does it trade off hours? And are there spreads? If there's spreads, then it's very hard to scalp. We're at the bottom of the trading range. Nice signal bar actually on the bottom trading range. But typically we like to look for the higher low setups here. So even though that's a nice signal bar, and it is like a nice two-legged pullback. The bottom trading range. Well, I like to look for the higher low setups here. So let's see if we can get a higher low setup. Possibly. In my opinion, I like it to break down a little bit further than this. Not right on it. The trading range indicator is just spot on right now. Jimmy says, I took that one. Thoughts and prayers to you. Thoughts and prayers to you. I typically like to do higher low setups. You want the higher low setups in trading ranges. You might get your scalp here, but thoughts and prayers to Jimmy. That's for Jimmy. I do hope you get your scalp, but trading range, we look for higher low setups, lower high setups. Preferably second entries. This could trap, but I don't know how far the trap will go, to be honest. Like, if the trap goes, then it might not even go that far because of trading range. Like, it can go and come right back up. And that's the characteristics of trading ranges. As long as we're in this trading range, you know, you're gonna trade it like a trading range. Trap does trigger here. And I'm not looking for a higher low here. I actually want, if you want a higher low setup, you kind of want it to be like near here, like a little further down. Because what this ends up becoming is a two-legged pullback with a higher low. And then some people might go short here. So this is why you gotta be careful. You need some space. You need some space between this and the 20 EMA. Just watching here, I mean, this is a higher low setup, but like I said, I don't like this higher low setup. It's just not enough rooms to 20 EMA. What's going to end up becoming if the higher low setup does trigger, it will be a two-legged pullback at the 20 EMA on a downtrend. So this is why the higher low setup is a little scary right here to take. For instance, you have the higher low setup right here, even with a good signal bar, but not enough room to 20 EMA, and it actually comes back down, triggers, then finally comes up. So even though this might trigger the second entry higher low setup here, the concern is that this will be a two-legged pullback at the 20 EMA. And so this is what I am worried about, and I don't want to trade into that. I would like a breakout to be a little further than the bottom of the trading range, not just poking like this. I like it to have a nice move like this, right? Breakdown and clear reversal bar like this, right? Showing some strong bullish momentum, right? Come back down, strong bullish, strong reversal bar again here, right? Failed breakdown essentially, coming back up. That's what I'd like to see. But this is too choppy right now, little too. Like right now, look at this. Oh, this will be an H4 setup, bottom trading range. I'll be interested in this H4 setup for sure if this triggers. So this is why you don't take that higher low setup here, this close to the 20 EMA. But I'll be interested in H4 setup if we do get it. JT Carpenter asks, I'm still kind of confused on when to do for the higher low setups. I understand the ranges, but when else? You also want to possibly take it on major trend reversals. Those are the two places where I look for higher low, lower high setups. Trading ranges, and so basically this will be like, what we're trying to find here is like a major trend reversal. That's like what we're trying to find within the trading range. H4 does not trigger. Actually creates a micro double bottom, the bottom trading range. And this looks like it might give you a scalp now, but little ways to go. It'll be at the 75s until it makes a scalp. Has a breakthrough, 20 EMA breakthrough, 240 SMA. Unfortunately, that created a double bottom instead of a H4 setup, which was what I was looking for. Possibly could still make an H4 setup, still in Trap City. Still hasn't made a point, that's why it's in Trap City still. Jimmy, congrats. Hey man, I'm happy for you. Oh, well, I just wasn't sure where you took your trade, so I just wasn't sure. But hey man, if you're making money, congrats man. Like if you just use a trading range indicator, just buy limit orders right here with like a 2 to 1 risk ratio, you could have scalped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times here. If you just had a limit order right here. But I mean, the risk is obviously you might lose out, you know, if it does a failed breakdown, and we might have an H4 setup here still, pandas. I'm just watching. I'm just waiting, sitting on my hands here. I will be interested in H4 setup, bottom of the trading range. Marluigi, yeah, hey man, hit that. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It does help the stream, but not only that, helps other people find out about the stream. So you hitting that like button, you are actually helping others out there who may be looking for content like this that doesn't know that this content exists. Pandas, we got an H4 setting up here. Might have an H4. H4 setting up. H4 doesn't trigger yet. Another micro double bottom. This might be eagerness from the bulls, not even letting the H4 trigger because they're eager to come in with limit orders. Limit orders here, limit orders here, limit orders here, limit orders here. These are all limit order trades. Those who took this limit order trade here just scalped out. This was expected though, choppiness like this today. Bottom of the trading range. Ooh. Is it finally gonna scalp you out? I would have liked the H4 setup, but never triggered. Missed it by 1 tick. Still in Trap City though, if you think about it. Right, until we hit the 75s, we're still in Trap City. We might, okay. Trap gone. Finally scalped out, bottom trading range. Higher low setup, but like I said, I didn't like that because it would have created two-legged pullback right at the 20 MA and on this downtrend. I would like the higher low setup if possible, but that just was not correct for me. But that did scalp out, right? It did give me an absolute scalp by one tick. But that's the beauty of the trading range indicator. As you can see, it's just marked this perfectly here. This is very, very interesting interaction. What's happening here? KB, KBS. What pair is this? Then someone says, this isn't Forex. Jason responds beautifully with ES E-mini S&P futures. Then KBKB says, he should have that easily identifiable dislike upsub, which I'm thinking he says unsub. SW Blaze says, KB, look at the name of the stream. Just a beautiful community here, man. You guys are just a beautiful community. What more can a panda ask for than a community like this? Definitely not taking that second entry short. This is a two-legged pullback though. ABC. And Jason said, I told him ES yesterday too. Man, goodness, some people just, this is why the internet is just filled with people you just do not know. You do not know what they're capable of. Two-legged pullback scalps at the zeros here. Trading range still. The 10K still in this trading range. Something interesting does happen here. We have lower highs throughout this trading range on the 10K chart. As you can see, lower highs are being formed every single time a new pivot high is created. That could be telling us something. Devil's in the details. Ryan Schmidt as H4 selective, it is not. We lost it right here. Once this popped up, it hit the zeros. We lost the H4. This is a two-legged pullback, but I do not like to take two-legged pullbacks at the bottom trading ranges. I mean, second entry shorts, bottom trading range. Doesn't make sense to me, so I'm not going to take this. This could scalp you out. Good signal bar off the 20 MA, but bottom trading range. And so here we have conflicting information, and so this is why I've skipped this two-legged pullback. And good thing I did, because it's very disappointing right now, the price action. After that triggers and you see kind of a bar like this, that's not what you want to see. But as expected, we're, most likely we're gonna have a day like this. This trap is interesting here. From all the setups, this trap might be the most interesting setup, in my opinion, so far. We have a trap at the bottom of a trading range, but it's so choppy. It's just too choppy. Even in this trading range, we got chop. Very hard. Very tight trading range at the moment here. Within this trading range, we have another trading range. Very tight. Aubrey Grinsell says, good to have you back, Panda. Hey, it's good to be back. But this is, yeah, this trap here is probably the most interesting trade so far that I might have considered going long. We don't hit it until we hit the zeros. One tick away from scalping out on this trap. Trap at the bottom trading range. This is too choppy for me though. Even though I kind of like this trap. I like this trade from the most. I like this trade the most so far. This trap, but still too choppy for me. Like right now, like in this chop right now, it's not enough room. It does actually give you a perfect scalp now. One more tick above absolute scalp on the trap. Okay, absolute scalps on that trap. So that right there was probably the best trade so far, in my opinion. Today. Yeah, best trade so far. That trap right here, this 3. But it was just too choppy, and it could have reversed. It could have reversed, so I just did not want to take it. But that was probably the best trade so far. This trap right here. Oh, yeah, failed second entry short. Those who forgot we were in trading range thought they could scalp out right here on this good signal bar off the 20 MA, but they forgot bottom of trading range. So when reverse, quickly reverse their position. Let's go, baby. Kern, Sleepy Joe, congrats, man. Hey guys, we celebrate anyone making money, even though I didn't make that trade, even though I didn't make money there, it doesn't matter. I'm glad if anyone does make money, because them making money has zero effect on me. Other than I'm happy for them. Do not suffer FOMO, do not suffer envy, just because you missed that trade. Daniel Sims says, hi Panda, Albrooks mentions if the trade is 60%, we should look for more points, reward and risk. If trade is 90%, we should look for 1 point instead. Do you apply this principle? Pretty much what I'm applying here. So come to the bottom of the trading range, right back to the top of the trading range indicator, perfectly identifying this trading range using price action. Again, if you want information on either indicator, the two-legged pullback indicator or the trading range indicator, you can check out the official website. Bottom right of your screen, www.twoleggedpullback.com. But, Grant Kim, congrats. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing here. That's what scalping is. That's what we're scalping. We're scalping those 90% probabilities. I swing trade sometimes on really good setups, major trend reversals, H4s at good reversal places or key areas. I like those trades. So something interesting does happen here. Okay, we come back up. We hit the top of the trading range perfectly to the tick. But I wouldn't be so short to go short here. It would be nice to hit this H4. But again, you typically like it if it does a fail breakout. So this touched it. And you want a fail breakout like this. Fail breakdown. You want a fail breakout. In a sense, it didn't go high enough for me. And also I look for lower high setups here. That was the best trade so far. Unfortunately I missed it, but it's okay. I had my reasons. But as you see, we're just bouncing bottom, above, bottom, above. Possible H4 setup here, or L4 setup. Grant Kim says, been trapped like 645, finally break even, congrats. 3 hits on the bottom as well. You know what? That's a good point. I actually missed the fact that this hit this perfectly and bounced off of it. If I saw that, I might have been more interested. I missed that fact though. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 micro triple bottom here, right? 1, 2, 3 hits perfectly on the exact same spot. Because of the FOMC day today, I might end the stream a little early just because most likely nothing's gonna happen until then. One second, pandas. Pandas, sorry about that. Back. We do have an L4 setup here. I do not like the location. It's right in the middle of the trading range. Oh, but I like L4 setups. I just like them a lot. And it's a lower high setup here. I don't like this signal bar at the moment. This is the signal bar for the L4. Because the signal bar is kind of ugly right now, I'm going to wait till this signal bar finishes. If this signal bar gives me a nice, maybe nice, even nice trigger bar, I might be interested in going short here. Hit perfectly the top of the trading range, but I need a better signal bar than this. Especially in the middle, the bottom third of the trading range, I do not like to go short typically. But the L4, H4 setups are so nice. I'm priming up this order, but again, double bottom here. I'm not interested in going short here right now. I'd like this to actually go higher. If this could like give me a, set up a little bit higher like this, that'd be better for me. But like near the top of the trading range. But right now it's like in the middle of the trading range, makes me hesitant, very hesitant, even on the L4 setup here. But I like how it basically, if you're thinking of downtrend, then you're thinking double top here. And this could be beginning of a downtrend, but we're still in a trading range. You gotta respect the trading range here. But it did create a double top essentially, right here. Bottom of the trading range going short. Do not like doing that. Terrible signal bars as well. If I can get a deeper retracement, I might be interested, but man. Thinking about this, but I don't like the signal bar. I really don't like the signal bar. I'm holding off on this one. Pandas. But I like this. I like the setup for a downtrend now. Right, uptrend, coming down, basically we made a double top right here, and now we're continuing the downtrend. That could possibly be what's happening here, but also in the trading range, so you gotta respect the trading range. Like if this wasn't in the trading range, I would think we were probably in a downtrend day today. If I saw this kind of setup. Coming up, hitting this, making a double top right here, most likely downtrend day. But because when you look to the left, we've just been in this trading range, you gotta respect the trading range. The L4 setup, lower high setup, terrible signal bar. Fortunately, the signal bar was too bad for me, even though this give a nice scalp here. And it might even start triggering a downtrend here, in my opinion. But this double top is reason for concern for any bulls right now. Ooh, lower high on the 10K chart. Daniel Eyes, good looking out. Good looking out, Daniel Eyes. Guess you're always looking. Yeah, I think the same thing here. It's the bottom of the trading range. I'm not interested in this on the 10K chart. I don't like going short on bottom trading ranges. It's just pretty much simple as that. We do have an H4, the lower high, terrible signal bar. See, the reason why I don't like these signal bars is because the signal bar itself is telling you that limit order bulls are here, right? When you have a signal bar that goes like this and reverses on the previous bottom, you have limit order bulls. So that makes you think there's probably more limit order bulls one tick below here and one tick below here, probably up to 2 points below. You know, they could be limit order bulls here. And so even though I like the setup here, the double top, H4 setup, lower high, you got to recognize we're in trading range. And because of that, these things do not work out typically as you would expect. But as we all know, FOMC is at 2 p.m. and so I mean I'm expecting we're just in this trading range until then as well. So that might be affecting my bias as well. Ben Amos asks, what is the 10K chart? 10K chart is 10,000 tick chart. SLB Blaze says, how many bars does a range indicator use, or is it adjustable? It is adjustable. You can make it, default's 3 bars. According to Mac, that's what he uses. Also Al Brooks. 3 overlapping bars. You should start to look for trading ranges. And so on the default, the trading range indicator uses 3 bars to start looking for trading ranges. And then you can make it 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 bars, how many bars you want, but yeah. Slow day today, but trading range indicator, man, it's spot on, right? Like bam, 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 hits it right here. And notice the trading range indicator created the trading range way back here, starting from yesterday actually, and I identified this trading range way before it even started making these hits here. Bam, hit the top of the trading range perfectly by the tick. When the trading range, when it's a trading range day, the trading range indicator is usually spot on. It's so good. I mean, it's basically based on price action, and that's why even for me, I get shocked. I'm like, man, this, like when I created this, I was just like, okay, let's just apply the rules to trading ranges, and try to make an indicator off of it. And this is what ended up happening. And man, it's just like, sometimes it's incredible, especially days like this. Uses pure price action to look for these trading ranges. About to scalp out on that H4 with a terrible signal bar. It has to hit the 50s to do a perfect scalp, which is basically the bottom of the trading range. Another reason why I didn't want to go, because it has to hit the bottom of the trading range to scalp out. Too low. right in this trading range. Man Animal says, is a tick a 1 second candle? No, a tick is a transaction. So whenever there's a transaction, right, between two sellers, between a seller and a buyer, that is 1 tick. And so when there's 2,000 ticks, that means that a candle is formed. But every single time the transaction happens, that is 1 tick. Okay, so for those who are in the H4, thoughts and prayers to you, or the L4. Missed the bottom of the trading range by 1 tick. That's concerning for bears. Couldn't even get to the bottom of the trading range. That is clearly here. Clearly here. Then it says 5 minute. Terrible signal bar on the 5 minute. Not interested. Also, 5 minute has this trend line. Not interested until this trend line breaks. So that's the thing about trading ranges. It's like you have reasons to go long, you have reasons to go short, and this is why trading ranges are created. And that confusion creates these trading ranges. Trading range indicator is available on the website, bottom right of your screen, www.twoleggedpullback.com. JT Carpenter asks, when does the trading range indicator stop calculating the range? Whenever there's a successful breakout. So the trading range indicator has 3 modes of breakouts. It has an ATR mode, a fixed tick mode, and a trading range percentage mode. It's defaulted at the ATR mode, and so once it goes beyond a certain ATR, beyond the boundaries, it will be considered a successful breakout and the trading range will stop calculating. So if I go to one here, right, this trading range started to create here. Once it finally hit this candle, it went beyond the ATR. And you can adjust all of that. You know, if you go to the official website, you can see a tutorial for the trading range indicator telling you exactly how it calculates these legs. And for those interested, this is the trading range indicator link showing you how the trading range indicator detects trading ranges. I'll turn a feature on that I don't have on. By default, because it slows down your computer like crazy. But here's a trading range indicator. And what it's doing right now with all these numbers is telling you how many times it has hit a certain price point. And so you can see here on the right side of the trading range, that's all the numbers that hits on the bottom. And this is all the points it hits on the top. And you can see here that there are 28 or 20 hits on this upper range here. 20 hits. Here we have 17 hits on the bottom of this trading range. And it will adjust itself over time as there's more hits. And so it literally uses price action to identify these trading ranges. Again, thoughts and prayers to those who are in this short. I mean, you're still in the trade because your stop will be way up here actually. And we popped up, right? That could be scary, but still, actually we double bottomed here now. Ooh, trap trade here. Two-legged pullback trap. That might be an interesting trade right here. But I still don't like it how it's so close to the bottom of the trading range. I don't like it how we're still not at FOMC, thinking trading range will continue until FOMC is done. Notice here, we have this. So you don't want to go long there because you have this trend line. Failed breakout of the trend line, continuing it downwards. I actually like this short here. I would like this short if the trading range wasn't like blocking the scalp here. But I actually do like this setup, especially after a double top like that, right? When you have like, if this wasn't a trading range, right? This is a really nice setup, right? You have a new high, right? You have a high here, break a trend, new high. New high makes a lower high here, and the lower high makes a double top. Double top right here makes a trap trade right here. And that trap trade I typically would just take without thinking much about it because of the setup, right? The double top setup. But especially also after failed breakout like this, but because of the trading range, I cannot go short here because we're at the bottom of the trading range, and that just doesn't make sense to go short at the bottom of the trading range. I hope that makes sense, right? It's just like, it's so obvious that, you know, it shouldn't even need to be said, but, you know, because we're streaming here and we're trying to, you know, read price action, I gotta say all this stuff out loud. So, conflicting things, right? This would be a very nice setup to go short, but because of the trading range, we cannot go short there. And thankfully, I didn't go short there. Because now I'm seeing this bar, ooh, another failed breakout. Yeah. That movement was so quick. It made me think it was gonna just blast to the bottom. But guess what? We have another H4 setup here. H4 here, another H4, or L4 here, H4 setup here. Absolutely incredible. H4 here. Actually, this fails, and it actually breaks above. I didn't want to take this one because, like I said, it missed the top of the trading range by one tick, and once it triggered below, then it came up and raced above it. Then finally was able to come back down. We have an H4 setup here, bottom of trading range, but yeah, I mean, all these failed breakouts, right? Breakout here failed, breakout here failed. Adjusting this trend line. We're gonna end the stream soon, Panda. Sorry, I know nothing. I didn't even trade. I wasn't even expecting to trade today. This was the one setup that I feel like I should have taken, and I was talking about it. I was ruminating about it, but by the time it ended, I gave it up because I just saw this chop here, and I just could not pull myself. Couldn't pull the trigger because I was scared that it was going to hit its head right on top of this trading range, and it did stall out there for a little bit until it finally broke through. But Kern made a good point. It made three touches at the bottom trading range, which is a nice indicator that this might reverse and go up. So I missed that, but next time, you know, we'll keep that in our arsenal, and we'll be more cognizant about that micro triple bottom. Trading ranges, man. Look at this. This is crazy. Yeah, this is a clinic for trading range. So even though we didn't make a trade today, hopefully we learned something. Hopefully this was still helpful for you guys. But I'm gonna end it early, pandas. I knew it was gonna be like this. Maybe at 2 o'clock we might see some more action. I might find some trades there. But hey, pandas. Hey, trade safe. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the stream, please. Any suggestions would be great. You know, if you think it's ugly, if you like more information somewhere, let me know. I'll try to do my best to accommodate you guys. Let me know with emoticons what you felt about the stream. And as always, happy trading and God bless, pandas. Hey, thanks for joining the stream. If you want more information about the indicators, check out the official website, www.twoleggedpullback.com. That's it for today, pandas. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I really did feel like I was going to trade today just because I just saw the chop and I knew what kind of day it was going to be today. And yeah, we did see that one setup that I missed, but it's okay, pandas. You know, it's just one setup out of many. And yeah, till the next one, I think around 2 o'clock we'll get more opportunities, and I'll be waiting till then. But until then, till tomorrow, I'll see you guys. See you, pandas.